it's really effective against the ear. Bam.
Okay.
Same with the other side.
Okay.
Something to also think about is, yes, this is a strike, but this is also a defense. If I go to reach for you or something like that, if I try to get a little handsy, right, you can use that same slap as almost like a parry maneuver. Right?
These are PTK, right? These aren't just sissy attacks that we're teaching women. These are like from
these are
Kali.
Yeah, these are legitimate Filipino martial arts striking. All right, so now I want to talk about just some basic striking and some basic targeting on the body, because these are going to be important when it comes to self-defense. If somebody grabs you, or if somebody puts their hands on you or something like that, yeah, you need to know how to address that. But you also need to know how to follow up, because the situation is probably going to call for it, especially when it's like somebody a lot bigger, a lot stronger, you know, whatever, which is more probable if you're a woman, you know. So if you want to help protect your significant other, knowing how to effectively strike with high probability type striking is paramount, because, you know, I don't necessarily want to teach my wife, you know, a jab, cross, and hook, and how to kickbox, and, you know, throw all these really fancy moves. Because first of all, I mean, let's face it, you're a mom, right? We have kids, and they're small kids. I mean, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to put into this training. But also, I mean, are you really going to want to? You know, I mean, we love doing this for like a bonding type thing, and you know, I love training with you. Absolutely love it, but it's not going to be something that you're going to dedicate as much time as I'm going to dedicate. Plus, you're not training for a kickboxing fight. You know, you're not Gina Carano. So you don't have to train that way, right? So the striking that we're going to cover is going to be really basic, really simple, really easy, but it's also going to be extremely effective, right? And the first thing that I want to go over is a hand technique, the slap, right? So real quick, we're going to demonstrate it. I want to have you drill it a little bit, and then we're going to kind of talk about it. So the slap here, what I'm going to do is my hands are already going to be up. If I perceive a threat, oh my goodness, you know, you look shady as hell, you know. My hands are already going to be up, whether it's de-escalation or just whatever. From here, whatever hand that I'm hitting with, I'm going to kind of pull back a little bit more towards my head. And from here, I'm going to turn my entire body in, and I'm slapping right across the face. And we're going to use the face right now. We're going to talk a little bit more about targeting here in a minute, right? So I'm going to come up, and I'm going to slap all the way through. Same with the other hand. It's going to come up, and I'm going to slap all the way through. So hand comes up, slaps all the way through you, just like
Where am I aiming? I'm aiming for like the cheek?
You can go for the cheek. You can go for the jawline.
Okay.
You can go for the neck. It's really effective against the ear. Bam.
Okay.
Same with the other side.
Okay.
Something to also think about is, yes, this is a strike, but this is also a defense. If I go to reach for you or something like that, if I try to get a little handsy, right, you can use that same slap as almost like a parry maneuver, right?
Okay.
So if I go to, you can do that same thing, right? Okay. And the cool thing with that is if I go to grab and you do that slap, you can take that other hand and slap across the face.
Like this?
Yeah.
This side?
Yeah. Okay. So basically you're just doing a slap and then a slap.
Okay.
So I go to grab, you slap, and then you slap.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So the next one that I want to go over is going to be the hack. Now the hack, I'm going to be using the bladed part of the forearm, and it could be the part of the hand, it could be around the wrist, and it could even be a little bit more towards the elbow.
Okay.
And from here, I'm going to follow that same line as I did with the number one, except it's going to be on the opposite side, right? Okay. So as I came with that slap here, the hack is actually going to be coming across that same line, but with the other side. And it's going to be hack, and it's going to be hack.
Okay. Wait, so.
Yep, hack.
Like this.
Yep. And again, you can take that to the neck. It's really, really effective against the neck. You could take it to the jawline. Yeah. You could take it to the temple.
Okay. I'm going to show on this side by the camera.
Yes.
Okay, so neck? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You see my body shake a little bit? Because, I mean, it'll kind of jar you a little bit. And the cool thing about the hack is there is so much structure behind this.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I'm having to use this whipping motion and follow through, and I'm really having to depend on my body mechanics.
Yeah.
With this hack, I can actually drive through this. And another benefit is you're actually striking with protection. If I go for this number one, I got to be ahead of time, basically. Yeah, because you're wide open, right?
Yeah.
If I see this coming from a mile away and I decide to cheat through here, I'm going to beat you to the punch.
Yeah, but
pun intended. If you're coming with this hack, you stay protected behind this weapon, right? Yeah. If you're like, reset for a second. If you go to throw like a straight punch or something, and I'm here, right? I may not take that straight to the face like I want to, but I'm moving behind protection. Exactly.
These are PTK, right? These aren't just sissy attacks that we're teaching women. These are like from
these are legitimate Filipino martial arts striking. Okay. And the reason why they're so effective, and the reason why the Filipino martial arts uses these is because you're not striking with the fist. If I go to strike with a fist and you just bow your head a little bit and I hit that hard part, I'm going to hurt myself more than I hurt you. If I go to throw this strike and you throw an elbow, bam, and I hit that elbow is going to beat my fist. Yeah. It's going to hurt really bad. Not only that, but also you learn specific movements within Filipino martial arts. You learn your angle 1 and your angle 2, right? It's the same thing. I'm going angle 1 and angle 2. So if you're learning the Filipino martial arts, essentially you're training everything all into one.
Okay.
So you're getting nervous? Her awareness is on point. So the next strike that I want to talk about is going to be the hammer fist, right? So the hammer fists are going to travel on the same line as the slap and the hack, except I'm going to hit with this meaty part of the hand. I am making a fist for this one. I'm just not hitting with the bones. I'm going to hit with this meaty part. And it's traveling across that same angle 1 and angle 2, right? So essentially with those 3, you're learning how to throw multiple strikes with only one movement per strike, right? So,
well, in hammer fists you can do straight down and to the side too.
And straight up.
Oh, right? Straight up. Okay.
Yeah. So I can go diagonal. I can go vertical.
Yeah.
And I can also go horizontal.
Nice. Okay.
The hammer fist is actually a very versatile tool because you are hitting with a blunt object, essentially. And you can hit if I hit the top of your head, this is not going to damage me.
Yeah.
If your elbow is up and somehow I hit that, that's not going to damage me. Yeah. Whereas if I was throwing a punch, it would. All right, so real quick, while we have focus pads, and if you don't have focus pads, you can just use your hands.
Or boxing gloves.
Boxing gloves. Boxing gloves work really well. I'm going to give her some targets, and it's going to allow her to train each 3 of those strikes, essentially without having to move or reset anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold these out kind of like a V. They're going to be a little bit pointed towards her, but I'm going to hold them here. And all she's going to do right now is she's just going to work a slap on each hand. Slap, 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 slap. Now we're going to change this into the hack. So again, the hack is coming across body. So this one is actually going to hit this side. Nope, switch sides.
Oh.
Yep. Hack, 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 hack. Now we're going to play with the hammer fist, holding the mitts the same way. So she's going to hammer, 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 hammer. And now she can cross them if she wants. So now this time, this one's coming to this side. Hammer, 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 hammer.
I can see how that would be really good because like you have it can go either like depending on where, what's happening.
Well, and that actually is going to lead us into our next point. And I'm glad that you brought that up because this is something that I wanted to talk about, and it's always better if it comes natural. So you're talking about how the hammer can go this way and it can also go this way. You can also throw the same type of combination with your slap and your hack. So if I come in here with this slap and say I come all the way through, instead of having to come all the way from back here for another slap, I can actually go slap to hack. And this can actually lead me into another slap to another hack. So essentially, maybe using just a little bit of footwork, I can actually travel down the line and keep the attacks coming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
And the reason why I would want to do that is because if somebody decides that they want to attack you, 2 things are going to change their mind. Either you getting away or you overwhelming them with aggression, right? And that's why we're always attacking. When I teach people, I don't teach people to sit there and be the best defender that they can be. They have to be able to turn that aggression onto their attacker because if they don't, they're not going to get out of it, right? Using these types of striking, I can actually start coming in with, see what I mean?
Yeah.
More and more aggression. And it's really, really hard to sit there and fight back against somebody who does not stop attacking, right?
Well, and it's what you said, counter offense, not defense.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't believe in defense. I don't believe in self-defense. Self-defense, I think, should be more aptly put as self-protection.
Yeah. We just use the term self-defense because that's what everybody calls.
That's what everybody knows, right?
Okay.
And as you said about, defense, it's not defense, it's counter offense. Yeah, I may be on the back step. I might be a little bit behind timing. You might have the advantage point right now, but it's my goal, it's my intention. What I am going to do is I'm going to go on the counter offense, and I'm always attacking, right? If you go to grab, yeah, you've already initiated, but I'm on the counter offense. And believe it or not, that mental change will change the way that you're able to protect yourself better than anything else.
Nice. Okay, so we promised them targeting.
Yes. Okay, so where am I going to hit? Where am I going to be able to strike? So for these particular strikes, as we've talked about before, when she's striking me, she has the neck,
the neck, or
the jawline. She has the temple. Obviously, she has the ears are really well, especially with this slap. You can kind of cup that hand a little bit and blow out somebody's eardrum. You also have eyes. You have throat is really good. I can throw that hack into the throat, right? I can come in and rake the eyes, right? I can actually throw this hack but catch with the fingers to the eyes. If you can't see, you can't fight. If you can't breathe, you can't fight. If you can't be mobile, you can't fight. And those are the three things that you really want to be able to disrupt when it comes to protecting yourself. You want to take their eyes, you want to take their source of oxygen, and you want to take their mobility.
Yeah, so a knee or a kick to the knee is good, right?
Kick to the knee is really good.
Make the knee go a way it's not supposed to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
My knee bends like this. This is the only way it bends. Your goal, your intent should be to make it bend in a way that it doesn't naturally bend.
So to bend sideways or to bend...
You can go sideways, back. Yep. So if you kick on the inside, that's the kind of pressure it gives me, right? Which is really bad for the hip all the way down to the knee to the ankle.
Yeah.
From the other side, this is going to buckle. If you get those people that don't really know what they're doing, they tend to be a little bit lock-legged.
Yeah.
And you can take that knee out from there.
Okay.
And these are very simple kicking. So you have your front kick, you have your oblique kick, and then you have your side kick. Now the front kick, you have to be careful because I'm taking essentially a narrow object and trying to hit a narrow target. It's very easy to slip off from there.
Yeah, that's why I like this one.
I prefer the side kick and then the oblique kick. Exactly.
That's oblique kick?
Yep.
I think that's a little harder to pull off.
It is a little bit harder to pull off. And usually I would say use that one when you're already really close quarter.
Okay.
The side kick is perfect for making your exit and all the self-defense stuff. The idea, right, is to get away.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to get away, I don't want to just be like, time out, I'm done, and then walk away. It's not going to work, right? I have to give them something to think about. So after I've struck, you know, my various striking, after I've defended or counter-offended, after I've addressed the essential problem of you putting your hands on me, as I'm going away, usually I try to throw a side kick or something of the sort to give them something to think about to allow me to get away.
Nice. Oh, what about elbows?
Elbows, I'm so happy you brought that up. Elbows are some of my favorite. So there are three main elbows that I like to throw. I like to throw the horizontal elbow, which is from here. I like to throw the diagonal upwards elbow, which is from here or from here. And then the diagonal downward elbow from here. And the reason why I like to throw these is because it's really easy to put in with more ballistic, more dynamic footwork. Now, somewhere along the way, and I think sport fighting is probably the biggest culprit of this, we've been conditioned to think that if we're going to be good at fighting, we have to be good at fighting from right here.
Yeah.
And this is, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, when it comes to self-protection, this is exactly what you don't want to do. If you start focusing on staying right here to fight off the bad guy, you're putting yourself, especially if you're smaller, not as strong, if you're a woman against a steroided out freak of a man, this isn't going to be good for you. You have to be able to move. So all this striking that we've been going over, you can do with footwork. And we'll talk about that in later videos and whatnot. But the elbows are the perfect example of this. So real quick, throw a horizontal elbow. You want to start off by...
Wait, am I...
No, you're doing perfect.
Okay.
That's exactly what I want you to do right now. So when you're throwing this, you want to start from a static just to kind of get the technique and the way that the elbow travels. When I throw this elbow, I want to make sure that that other hand is up, because if I sneak something in, right, you want to have an answer for that. So she's going to throw from here and with the other side.
Well, and there's a difference too. There's a slice and there's a
drive through.
Yeah,
yes.
like a push.
Well, and that's that point is going to kind of lead me into when I talk about the footwork.
Okay. Sorry.
You're fine. You're perfect. You're perfect.
Okay.
Also, you have the diagonal upward elbow. So from exactly.
Okay.
And then you have the diagonal downward elbow from there, right? Okay. So when you're training this, you want to train it statically so you can get the movement, where I'm going, and the energy that it gives me. After that, you should put it into movement. And a lot of your movement is going to dictate the amount of force, or the kind of force that you're going to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, you and I are going to kind of be on a diamond, so to speak, right? And I'm going to do that reverse triangle footwork. And I'm going to step out, and I'm going to throw that elbow. Then I'm going to step out to the other side and throw that elbow. From here, you can also do the diagonal upwards, diagonal upwards, diagonal downward, and then diagonal downward.
Okay.
Again, when you're striking, it's always better to learn how to strike and move at the same time. Because again, if you stop in the middle of a fight against somebody who outweighs you, who's a lot stronger than you, you're setting yourself up for
failure.
A lot of failure. Because all they really have to do is put their hands on you, and it's going to get a lot harder from there.
So this seems like a small, something small going to another small, kind of like what you're talking about, narrow. This seems like, so how do they, I mean, I guess really my whole, I'm aiming at the throat and the jaw and the face all together.
You can aim at the throat, the jaw, the face. And really, it really depends on what's kind of leading you into this. Because there are certain instances, so if your hands are up and I'm going across, there are certain instances where I'm trying to blow that arm away, right? Okay. There may be a certain instance where I've actually found my way out here, and say you're a lot taller than I am, and I'm actually going to take that into the arm to put me in a position to be able to get to the head. Really what I'm trying to say is that you can target pretty much anywhere. Okay. As I'm going off to the side from here, so say I've come in with my angle 1, right, to take down the hand, come back with that angle 2, and then from here I'm going to take off to the side, and I'm taking everything. Okay. And that's the idea, right? So another philosophy in Pekiti is that we always go for the hand first, and then we go for the eyes, right? And what that means is the hands are the problem, right? You can grab me, you can strike me, you can do all these things. These are where my problems are. So I have to address this first. If I start trying to go for the eyes while you still have perfect use of your hands, I'm going to set myself up to get hit, right? But if I'm here, right, and say I take that hand, then I can take that eye, and then I can take everything. I'm using that same philosophy of deal with the immediate problem and then end the fight. Yeah. So in conclusion, and then the last thing that I really want to say about striking, and obviously later on we'll put out some more in detail striking videos or whatnot. But one of the things that I really want to express is that, again, you want to start training all of this static because you want to get the proper mechanic, you want to get the proper technique, right? Whether it's a slap, hack, elbow, whatever. You want to make sure that you're doing it right. But as soon as you can, you want to put it into a movement type scenario. And I just gave the example of the reverse triangle, but really, I mean, you could put any type of movement pattern and combination that you want. But again, if I'm attacking you with murderous intent, and you stand right in front of me and try to box, I'm going to blow you away. Yeah. You're going to be down on the ground and I'm going to have my way with you. Because unless your precision is just on point, right? I'm stronger than you. I'm faster than you. If I have murderous intent and you're just trying to self-defense yourself, right? There's already a disadvantage there, right? You're not fighting the same fight that I am. Yeah. Right? Correct. So you have to learn how to move and how to strike at the same time. Once you learn how to move and strike, you start controlling the range. You start controlling the timing. You know, you can control whether I'm going to be counter offense, right? Or if I'm going to be all offense, right? So this is most important. Train it starting out, you know, static, but as soon as you can, start moving with it and see what you can make work. Yeah.